Hello, guys, welcome back to Saturday Night Sit Down with your host, Tammy Pinnock. On today's episode, I want to talk on a very sensitive topic: abusive relationship. Now, there are different types of abuse in relationships, but today I want to focus on four types of abuse. So, the first one I want to talk about is physical abuse, and then the second one is sexual abuse, and the third one is emotional abuse, and then the fourth one is financial abuse. And then we will focus mainly on physical abuse, and then I'll give my take on what I think about abusive relationships. So without wasting your time, let's get right to it. So physical abuse, that may include physically, hitting somebody, slapping, hitting, punching, shoving, grabbing, kicking, pulling, biting. These are all forms of physical abuse. When you physically, use your hand to grab somebody, throw something at somebody, slap them, beat them, punch them, use them as a punching bag. Those are all part of physical abuse. Now, the next one I want to touch on is sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is when you try, you're coercing or attempting to coerce any sexual contact or behavior without consent. So the person hasn't given you consent, and you just you either force them to have sex with them, threaten them to have sex with them. And this is also possible in marriages. Most people, sometimes people say, oh, how can you say that a husband rapes his wife? It is possible, because if a woman doesn't want to have sex or sexual activities with a husband due to only God knows different types of reason, and the man forces himself on that woman, he has sexually abused his wife. And the other type of abuse that I want to talk about briefly before we focus on physical abuse, which I really want to focus on, is emotional abuse. Emotional abuse, which is also verbal abuse, is in that category. So emotional abuse involves undermining an individual's sense of self-worth and self-esteem. And this may include, criticism. When you're in a relationship, or either you're courting, you're dating, you're in a marriage, and your partner always criticize whatever you do. They criticize your outfit, they criticize your hairstyle, they criticize the shoe you wear, they criticize the way you talk, they criticize the way you behave, they criticize literally everything about you, until they take total control of you mentally. They turn you, you get to a point whereby you think, you don't even know yourself. Before you do anything, you'll be scared, and you'll be thinking, oh, am I doing it right? You'll be scared because the man has completely taken control over your life. They've taken control completely over everything you do. And this may include diminishing one's ability, and also name calling. So when I say diminishing one's abilities, that nothing you do it's good enough. Everything you do, they put you down. And that also includes name calling. Your husband or your boyfriend will call you fool, you're stupid, you're worthless, you're useless, you prostitute, You will never amount to anything. You know, they all the name calling, and they mess up with you mentally. And also it includes damaging your self-esteem. And at the end of the day, you feel completely worthless. You feel completely useless. You feel, you don't know anything. You feel like you can't get anything done on your own. You become, emotionally attached to them, and you feel without them you cannot do anything. And the other type of abuse that I want us to look at, it's financial abuse. And financial abuse is defined as making or attempting to make an individual financially dependent by maintaining total control over their financial resources. So, most men are in that category that, when they want to have total control of a woman, they tell the woman, oh, don't worry. Sometimes they meet a career woman, and when they meet them, once they were dating, the woman has business, they have good career, they were doing good. And when they get married, the man forces them to stop working, that they're fine, they will take care of the home, and then they control all the finances. And without them, the woman becomes, vulnerable. And then the woman is forced to take all their crap, because they know that without the man providing money, then they can't get anything done. And the man forbids them from, taking any other jobs. And for those that get married to, women that has never been to school, they forbid them from going to school. They forbid them from making friends. They forbid them from anything that will bring, money into their hands, because they know once they have money, then they no longer have the control over their wives. So they abuse them financially. So all those are types of abuse. No woman should go through any form of abuse, be it financial abuse, be it sexual abuse, be it emotional abuse, which include verbal abuse and financial abuse. But today I want to focus mainly on physical abuse. Our parents, they feel that, when their children get into marriage, and they're being physically abused by their husbands, they come home to the parents. Most parents will still tell them, go back and manage your marriage. They will tell you, you are in there, that's it, make it work. But it is not right. It is not right, especially when you've seen something like you've seen somebody that has gone through physical abuse and they didn't come back alive. We've heard of so much story where men has killed women in marriages, in relationship, because these women think that, things will get better. And the churches as well, they are not helping, because a woman will come to you as a pastor and say, my husband is physically abusing me, my husband beats me every day. Sometimes you will see the proof on their body. They have big swollen eyes. Some, they beat them, their teeth falls up. They beat them so badly. Some will even pass out. Some will be admitted into hospital, and their pastors will still tell them that God is able to fix it, that they should go back home. Now, I'll tell you a story, and then I will tell you my take. When I newly came to this country, I was in up north, doing my masters. I had a friend. This girl, she is so beautiful. She's half Nigerian, half Egyptian, and her fiance then was half British and half Nigerian. The two of them, they are very beautiful couple. But this guy would always beat this girl black and blue, constantly. It will break her arm. Serious beating, guys. I mean serious beating. And we advised her to leave the guy. Eventually she left. And then I was pregnant then, so I left up north and I came down to, live with my brother to have the baby. And my friend called me to say she's moved in with her partner. And I was like, why? Why? How long are you going to continue with, with him giving you the beating of your life? You are better than that. You're a beautiful girl. You are A very intelligent girl. What are you doing with a guy like that? She said, oh, they're fine. They, they're all right. They've talked things through. They've worked things out. He has promised that he's going to change. Blah, de, blah, de, blah. Anyways, I'm here. I just had a baby. So I had my hands full, so I had my own issue going on down here. But literally 2 weeks after this girl moved back in with this guy, an incident happened. Apparently, the guy went out with his friends one evening and didn't come back till the next day. And we were all in the same university. This guy literally just graduated. His graduation ceremony was a couple of days from the day that this incident happened. So he went out with his friends the night and didn't come back till the next morning. And meanwhile, the girl called him, numerous times during the night. The guy did not answer. And the next morning, he came back home. And when he came back home, it was just his plan was for him to just get into the house. When he came back home, he came with his friend in the car. So he told the friend to wait in the car so that he can just quickly rush it, get into the house, change his clothes, and they can both go to school together. So his friend was sitting in the car waiting for him. He got into the house, and obviously there was they started arguing because the girl was worried sick, that all through the night she was trying to call him to find out if it was okay. No response. She was scared. She was panicking, and they started arguing. And apparently they were in the kitchen when all this chaos, all this argument started. And the next thing, according to the girl, the guy slapped her. So he slapped her, and she just says, she grabbed him, by the shirt and said, you're not going there. Because the guy was just go home and he was getting out again. So she grabbed him to say, you're not going anywhere. And that was it, guys. And this guy just unleashed on her. I wasn't there. This is the story that she said. So the guy unleashed, but I believe that because I've seen what this guy has done to her previously numerous times. The amount of beating that he has given to this girl numerous times. And like I said, this girl is half Nigerian and half Egyptian. So her body, her beautiful soft skin. So you can imagine when you hit somebody that is so light in complexion, you can imagine all the bruises. So you can easily see them. So she grabbed him, and this guy started beating her seriously, beating her, and she was beating her. She was shouting. He said, "I will kill you today." He was beating her, and she said apparently at a point he grabbed her because they were in the kitchen. He grabbed her, by the throat, and he was strangling her. And she was shouting, "I can't breathe! I can't breathe!" But when in the heat of everything, you don't think, guys. You don't think. He grabbed her by the throat. She's shouting, "I can't breathe! I can't breathe!" The guy was still grabbing on tightly to her throat. And she said at the point she could see like her life, leaving her body. And in the midst of all the struggle, she was like this with her hands, and all this she didn't know. It was when everything has happened that she realized what she's done. She grabbed the knife because they were in the kitchen. She grabbed the knife and she stabbed him because she knew this was going to be a life and death. This guy is going to end up killing me. I need to fight for my life. So she stabbed him. Guys, she stabbed him in the throat. And that was the end of the poor boy. She killed her fiancé. She killed him. Not intentionally, but it happened. She killed the guy. And When she realized what has happened, she called the police, the ambulance service, everybody rushed there. Meanwhile, whilst all this was happening, the friend was still in the car waiting. Guys, this is life. Within a minute, when it comes to abusive relationship, physical abuse, within a minute, anything can happen. The friend was waiting outside patiently for him to come so that they can both go to school. Both go to school. And he was there waiting. And all of a sudden, all he could see was numerous police cars with all their sirens, ambulance, so everybody running into this house. And he was wondering what's going on. And by the time the paramedics got into the house, it was too late. The guy has bled to death. The girl was on the floor crying. She killed him. She killed him, guys. And he bled to death. Even though it was self-defense, but it happened. He died. And that guy was due to finish his master's. He was due to have his graduation ceremony just a couple of days from that day that he died. So all the effort of his parents wasted. Parents spent a lot of money, sending him abroad to study. He did his first degree here because apparently he came from a very rich family. Did his first degree here, and after first degree, did his master's, and then died just few days to graduating from his master's program. Wasted life. Wasted life, wasted money, wasted effort, wasted everything. This is a story that happened to people. Both of them were my friends that I know. So it's not as if, it's a story that I heard from somebody. I knew these people. We were close friends. And that was how the guy died. And the girl was tried and sentenced to jail. And she went to jail. So our own life as well, she went to jail for manslaughter. So our own life as well, wasted. And even after she spent all the years that she was sentenced to, imagine her coming out from jail after maybe 10-15 years. What would become of her life? What would become? She was in her 20s then when that incident happened. So imagine her spending another 15 years in prison. So what would happen when she comes out from prison? She will be in her 40s. Where is she going to start from? Wasted life. It was a lose-lose on both sides. Both families, lose-lose. And also, another story, when I was growing up as a child, when I was a young girl, our neighbor as well beat his wife to death. This man was always, a beautiful woman had 5 children for this man. The man was a drunk. He would always go out every day, get drunk, and when he comes back, any little provocation, he would descend on this woman and beat the hell out of her. This man used to beat this woman every day. The entire street knew that this man was abusing this woman physically, but nobody did anything. Everybody would advise her, hey, it's normal, it's normal. Our husband and men, they will always beat, but it's okay. Things will get better. She goes to her parents, you're married now, you have to bear it. It's your cross, carry your cross. She goes to the pastor, it's going to be good. They don't even think of, let's cancel them. Let's find out what is causing this problem. They will tell you, it's going to be fine. Let's keep praying. And this poor woman was in that house. Keep praying and keep praying until one day this man beat her. to death. She died. She died as well. And guess what, guys? Just 2 years after that incident, the man went and remarried. Yeah, he went and remarried. Life goes on. But the family of that woman has lost their daughter. But the man went on. He's got the kids. He went on and married another girl, married even a younger lady. So he moved on with his life within 2 years. He went to jail and he came out within in less than a year, because you know in Nigeria your money talks. And in 2 years he got married to another girl. And his life went on. But the poor woman was dead. His children now no mom. Now they've been raised by a stepmom. Only God knows how the stepmom will bring them up. Our family, they've lost a daughter. Children has lost a mom. But the man went on and remarried. He didn't care. So now, this is my take. I would not, and I repeat, I would not advise any woman that is in an abusive relationship to sit down there and take it. No. When a man raises his hand to hit you once, trust me, that is only the beginning. He would continue. And you know, when they do it the first time, they will be so apologetic. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And listen, guys, I'm not just talking from other people's experiences. I have been abused as well. I have been in an abusive relationship as well. My first ever relationship as a girl, I was so young and so stupid and so naive. My boyfriend was physically abusing me. But you know, then I didn't think about it as abuse. Because after he would beat the hell out of me, he would say, oh, you know, I love you. You pushed me to do it. You pushed me to do it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's because I love you. Really? Because I love you. And this is what most of them will say. It's because I love you. And they will start saying, I can't live without you. If you leave me. Because sometimes when I've had it, I was like, that's it. I'm fed up with this relationship. If you leave me, I will die. If you leave me, I will kill myself. But I was so naive and so stupid. I thought it was love. I remember one incident that I was in my room. We were in the university then. I was living in the hostel, the girls' hostel. My roommate's boyfriend came to visit, and the guy said he wanted to take us out. So my roommate asked me if I was gonna go and with the other girls they were gonna take us all out. So I was like, okay, fine. We all went, and it's just like a food restaurant, just on the same, just like maybe 5-10 minutes away from the hostel. And we were all there just eating and drinking. And a friend of my boyfriend saw me there and went and told my boyfriend. And he came, came rushing down. Luckily for me, we've already finished, we've left. The girl went out with her boyfriend. I went back, me and the other girls went back to our room. And this useless man came to the room and told me, come out now. And I knew what was coming. So I said, no. Come out now. I'm going to drag you out myself. I said, no, I'm not coming. This guy literally dragged me. He dragged me from the girls' hostel, an hostel that is filled with girls. Dragged me from the hostel. Nobody could stop him. Dragged me from that hostel. Dragged me through the school campus. It was when we got, even the security guys at the gate of the university could not stop him. It was one other guy that was brave enough and attacked him and said, fight me. Since you want to show that you are powerful, fight me. And when that guy stood up for me, then the security guys as well came and stood up, and every other guy came and stood up, and he left. And that guy escorted me to my cousin's house, and I was there, cried my eyes out. And 2 days later, he was there begging. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know I love you. I can't do it and I will kill myself. I took my overdose. Coming up with all these stupid things. I love you. That's why you made me do it. I love you. I can't stand the sight of seeing you with another guy or hearing that you're sitting with another guy because I love you. And me, stupid idiot. Yes, I was a stupid idiot. I thought that was love. And I endured that beating for years. Eventually, I realized that this guy was abusing me, not just physically, but it was abusing me emotionally. I had to decide, is this what I want for myself? Because it got to a stage I knew that something was going to happen. This guy was going to kill me or I was going to end up killing him. I had to run for my life, guys. I had to run for my life because I choose to live. So my take, no woman should remain in an abusive relationship. Be you a Christian or a Muslim, I don't care. Your life comes first. And you know, when God created you, he created you with a good plan for you. The Bible says that the plan of God for you is for you to get, they are of good. His thoughts towards you are thought of good and not of evil, for you to reach your expected end. God's thought for you is not to die in an abusive marriage. When he created marriage, when God created the union, he created a beautiful thing. Not for you to go in there and a man start using you as a punching bag and then kill you in the process. God didn't create marriage for that. God said to the husband, love your wife as Christ loves the church. And he gave his life for the church. That was how Jesus loved the church. And that's why he came and died for you and me. Because he loves us so much. So he gave the same mandate to husbands. Love your wife as Christ loves the church. So that means a man is supposed to be that one that would love you and be willing to give up their life for you, just as Christ did to the church. So if a man is beating you, a man is using you as a punching bag, then you are in the wrong marriage. You are in the wrong marriage. And you can try to work things out by separating. Some pastors and they tell you you are married, God hate divorce, God hate divorce. They're pushing God hate divorce and women are dying in marriages. God hate divorce. Women are dying in marriages. You can separate, have a separation and see if things will work. And trust me, if things doesn't work, divorce that bloody man. Divorce him and save your life. Choose life. Choose life. Especially for those of you in the marriage that you've got children. Choose life. Choose the life of your children. Pack your bag and leave and start your life afresh. You will see a man that will love you and treat you like a woman should be treated. And with this mentality of Africa that you think when a woman is being married or a woman has had children, they now think you are nothing, you are second class. No man will. Trust me. Men are marrying women with 3, 4, 5 children. So you are not worthless. You are precious. You are beautiful. Live. Choose life. And anybody that will tell you otherwise to say, oh, be there, be here, manage, things will get better. Let the man separate. Let him change. He needs to change. Let him go for counseling. Let him change. Because if you're in that marriage and the guy is beating you, physically abusing you, one day he will kill you. Just like my friend killed her fiancé. He will kill you. Just like that, my neighbor killed the wife. Just like a lot of other stories that we've heard of men killing their wives in abusive marriages. So save your life. If you love your life, you will pack your bag and you will leave. It's not by force to marry. It is not by force to marry. We all have a choice to make. So it's your choice as a woman. If you want to stay there and remain there, it's your choice. But my advice is get out. Get out. Run for your life, save your life, and save your children. Because some men, they're not just abusive to the wife alone, they're abusive to the children. I watched a video about a week ago of a man that, is divorced with the wife, but the child lives with the man. A 3 years old child. This man was so, I don't know, he said because the child wets the bed. This man beats this child. This poor child, innocent child, 3 years old, because he wet the bed. The man beat the you need to see the back of this child. You need to see the eyes of this child. Abusive men. You are a coward. Any man that raises his hand on a woman is a coward. A coward. You are a coward. If you are that man that beats your wife, or you will beat the almost the life out of your children, you are a coward. Go and look for your age mate. Look for your kind. Go and look for a man. Fight with a man. Let's see how powerful you are. You want to show your strength. Show your strength with your fellow man. It's weak men. Weak men that raise their hand and beat their wife. They're weak. They're weak men. So leave that man. That is my take. I might be shouting. My voice might be raised. It's because when it comes to this topic, it really gets to me because of what I have experienced myself and what I've seen happen to my friend and other people around me. So get out, guys. No woman deserves to be in a marriage and be abused daily. No, you are better than that. You deserve better. God created you wonderfully. You're wonderfully and beautifully made. Your body is not made for as a punching bag. If the man wants to practice how to punch, let him go to the gym. Let him go learn boxing. Box in the gym. He can use it as even a career. Let him go. Start fighting as a boxer and making money and bringing money to the house with his strength. Not using his strength on a weaker vessel. Anyway. That's me, guys. I think I've ranted too much. That's my take anyway on abusive relationship. I believe that no woman should be in an abusive relationship because it can lead to death. You can lose your life in the process. So if you're going through an abusive relationship, and I know most women, it's difficult because for them, they are financially dependent on a man. And most of them think, how do I survive? How will I survive? How will I take care of my children? How will I take care of myself? Trust me, you will. There are a lot of support out there. There are people that will support you. You'll be fine. Anyways, that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for taking your time, to join me once again on my channel. I really appreciate it. Please, if you like my content, do not forget, to hit the like button. When you hit the like button, you just help me to promote my channel. And if it's your first time of joining me, you're very welcome. And please don't forget to subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll be the first to get a notification whenever I upload a video. That's it from me, guys, today. Till next week, Saturday. I remain your host, Tammy Pinnock. Thanks for joining me. Bye now. Bye.